Ma'am, can I buy just a little milk with this $2? The cashier burst out laughing the moment the young woman spoke. For real, she scoffed. You can't even buy a sandwich with that. Milk with $2? What is this, 1990? People in line snickered. A man in a suit muttered, "If you're that desperate, just water down tap water," and laughter rippled through the store. The woman, Elena, clutched a thin, crying baby to her chest, her sneakers torn, hoodie full of tiny holes, eyes red from sleepless nights. She didn't argue. She just stood there, small and silent under the harsh fluorescent lights. None of them knew that in less than 10 minutes, that same crowd would go completely quiet because of something she placed on the counter right next to her last $2. It was a small neighborhood supermarket on the east side of Dallas, around 8:30 p.m., when tired people rush in hunting for cheap dinners. Elena had walked 40 minutes in the cold to get there. She nervously set a small carton of milk, a loaf of bread, and a pack of diapers on the belt, and counted her coins again, lips moving silently. The total flashed. $19.87, the cashier said, popping her gum. Elena's cheeks flushed. I only have this, she whispered, laying down 2 wrinkled $1 bills and some coins. Could you maybe just give me the milk and the bread? I can bring the rest when I get paid. The cashier smirked. This isn't a charity, sweetheart. You either pay or you don't. You're way short. What do you want me to do, make money up here? Snickers rose behind her. There's always one, the man in the suit scoffed. A teenage girl lifted her phone, whispering, "This is going on TikTok," as she recorded Elena shaking hands. The baby whimpered louder. Elena's eyes watered, but she blinked fast. She carefully pushed the diapers aside. Just the milk then, please. My baby hasn't had any since morning. I just lost my second job and... Ma'am, you're not listening, the cashier cut in. You don't have enough even for the milk and bread. The milk alone is $4.29. You've got what, $2.64? More laughter. Someone joked, try praying over it. Maybe God will turn $2 into $20. And people giggled, some actually clapping. Face burning with humiliation, Elena took a slow breath and reached into her hoodie pocket. I knew I might not have enough, she whispered, so I brought this too. She pulled out a small, worn envelope, soft from being handled so many times. On the front, in shaky handwriting, were 3 words, "For God only." She set it gently on the counter beside the coins. The cashier raised a brow. What is that, a coupon from heaven? Laughter flared again. No, Elena said quietly. It's a prayer I wrote this morning. I told God I would bring it with me. I don't have money, but I have this. Maybe he'll hear me. The teen filming almost doubled over. Oh my gosh, she's trying to pay with a prayer? This is comedy gold. The cashier shook her head. Lady, this is a grocery store, not a church. We take cards, not prayers. No one noticed the man who had just stepped up behind the line, a man in his late 50s with gray at his temples, a neatly pressed shirt, and a name tag that read, Martin James, store owner. His voice sliced through the laughter. That's enough. Silence dropped like a curtain. The cashier straightened. Mr. James, I was just... He didn't answer. He stepped to the counter and gently picked up the envelope. For God only, he read softly. May I? He asked Elena. She nodded, eyes on the floor. Martin opened the envelope and unfolded the fragile paper inside. A single Bible verse, underlined twice, stared back at him. He read it, lips moving with the words, I have been young and now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Psalm 37:25. His fingers tightened around the note. In an instant, he wasn't in his spotless store anymore. He was 16, standing in a sagging trailer on the outskirts of town, his little sister crying from hunger in the next room, his exhausted mother on her knees beside an empty table. He could still hear her whisper, Lord, your word says you have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor their children begging bread. I believe you. Take care of my children, please. That night, decades ago, a stranger had knocked on their door with a bag of groceries. That verse had carried his family through their darkest season, and now here it was again, in his hands, written by a young mother with nothing but $2, a crying baby, and faith strong enough to walk into mockery. The room felt heavier. Jokes suddenly tasted bitter in people's mouths. Martin folded the paper and slid it back into the envelope. He looked at Elena with unexpected gentleness. Ma'am, he said quietly, will you wait here for a moment? She nodded, confused. He turned to the cashier. Don't ring anything up. Then he walked quickly towards the back of the store, past aisles of cereal and canned goods, disappearing through the swinging doors. Whispers buzzed. Is he calling security? Maybe he's going to kick her out. He's going to put up a sign, no beggars allowed. The teen hesitated, holding her phone midair, unsure whether to keep filming. 2 long minutes passed. The baby whimpered, and Elena rocked him, murmuring, God sees you, mi amor. God sees us. The cashier fidgeted, her earlier confidence fading. Suddenly, the low rumble of wheels echoed across the floor. Martin emerged, pushing a full shopping cart. Not with just milk, not with just bread. The cart was overflowing. Diapers, formula, rice, beans, pasta, canned vegetables, fresh fruit, baby wipes, bread, meat,
cooking oil, cereal, even a small brown teddy bear perched on top, its stitched eyes gently staring at the stunned crowd. He rolled the cart right up to Elena and parked it beside her. You could have heard a pin drop. Elena stared, unable to process what she was seeing. I think you made a mistake, she stammered. Those aren't mine. I only asked for milk and bread. I can't pay for. You already did, Martin said softly, with something money can't buy. Faith. The man in the suit looked away, face red. The teenage girl slowly lowered her phone, cheeks flushing with shame. Even the cashier swallowed hard, her smirk gone. Martin turned to her. Everything in this cart goes on my account, he said. Not the store's, mine. Then, to Elena. When I was a boy, my mother wrote this exact same verse on a scrap of paper. We had no food, no money, nothing. She laid that verse on the table and prayed. That night, a stranger had knocked on our door with groceries. He glanced at the envelope. I told God that if I was ever in a position to be that person, I'd be the one answering someone else's prayer. Looks like tonight is my turn. Tears streamed down Elena's face. I don't know how to thank you, she whispered. I didn't want to beg. I didn't know what else to do. I thought maybe if I wrote it down, God would remember me. He never forgot you, Martin replied. He saw you long before you walked in here. Suddenly, a voice from the line called out, Wait. It was the man in the suit. He stepped forward, pulled out his wallet, and placed a $50 bill on the counter. For her, he said, still avoiding her eyes. For whatever else she needs. The teenage girl stepped up next, eyes glossy. I'm sorry, she blurted. I shouldn't have recorded you. I was being cruel. My mom raised me alone too. I should have known better. She added a folded $20 to the pile. Within moments, more people moved. A tired mother with 3 kids dropped in a $10. An older man added a crumpled $5 in a bus pass. Even the cashier, wiping at her eyes, pulled a few dollars from her apron. I'm sorry for how I talked to you, she murmured. This is all I've got, but I want to help. A small stack of cash grew on the counter, money that just minutes earlier no one could spare. Elena shook her head, overwhelmed. This is too much. Please, it's too much. Martin gently disagreed. No, this is what happens when faith walks into a room full of pride. Pride laughs. Faith doesn't argue. It just waits and lets God answer. He looked down at the envelope. May I keep this? She glanced at the worn paper, the verse she had clung to with everything in her. Yes, she finally said. Please, let it remind you that God still hears. Oh, he replied quietly. I won't forget. That night, after the store closed, that small white envelope was pinned to the center of the corkboard in Martin's office. Above it, in bold letters, he wrote, Never laugh at faith again. Years passed. Employees came and went. Prices rose. But that envelope stayed. And every time a customer stood at the register with genuine need in their eyes and not enough in their wallet, Martin would glance up at that verse and quietly become the answer to another desperate prayer. As for Elena, that night changed everything. The groceries and diapers carried her through the month. The extra money from strangers paid her overdue light bill and printed copies of her resume. A week later, the woman with 3 kids, the one who'd given her $10, called about a job opening in her workplace. Within a month, Elena had steady work. Her baby was eating well and growing strong. Each night before bed, she taped that same verse, Psalm 37:25, above her pillow and whispered it over her son. I have been young and now I'm old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. She knew now, people might laugh at you for trusting God, but in the end, faith never embarrasses you. It reveals who was truly poor all along. If this story touched your heart, type faith in the comments so more people remember you can run out of money, you can run out of strength, but when you refuse to let go of God, you will never run out of hope.